Hello YouTube, this is a short video of my Mr. Heater Big Buddy portable propane heater. I am currently using this as supplemental heat in my downstairs family room. I only have one zone of heating and cooling, and it is difficult to keep the bi-level houses regulated at an even temperature. So this was a temporary solution. Right now it's on high. This puts out on high a full 18,000 BTUs. On medium, the right panel goes out. On low, the left panel dims a little bit. You may be able to hear the fan in the background circulating the warm air. The fan works great. The unit works great. My only problem with this is that the AC adapter was not included with the purchase of the unit. I had to buy it separately on Amazon.com. It was 10 bucks, but still, you know, it should be included for the price. I have this hooked up to a 30-pound propane cylinder. I keep a spare right next to it. Technically, those cylinders are outside the house. They're not inside the house, so I see no hazard, especially since it's behind a set of glass doors and the steel screen. I did look into getting a natural gas log, but there's two problems. Number one, these guys are 4 to 6 weeks out. Number two, my gas meter is on the opposite side of the house, and that means I have about 115 linear feet of pipe that needs to be run. These guys want $20, $25 a foot, so do the math, it's very expensive. My other option is to get a propane log and put a, I don't know, 100 or 200 pound cylinder outside of this brick wall and just drill a hole and run a line and put the gas log in there. I may consider that next year. I would like to point out that when you have these size propane tanks, and yes, this Mr. Heater will work on a 30-pound tank and a 40-pound tank as well. You only have to open the propane valve about a half of a turn. The valve on the tank does not need to be open all the way. This unit puts out a lot of heat. I've used this for the better part of a month, and I've only gone through maybe a tank and a half of propane. I went through a full 40-pound cylinder and half of that 30-pound, and I just topped it off. There may be some concerns about carbon monoxide poisoning and whether or not propane is safe to use indoors. I haven't had a problem. One of the things that I know about propane is that it burns clean. It is technically not a greenhouse gas. Propane is not regulated by the EPA. This heater is safe to use indoors. I do have a carbon monoxide detector just outside the hallway, and it has not tripped. I know one thing about burning natural gas or even wood. It lets off a lot of CO2, carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas, and carbon dioxide will deplete the oxygen levels inside of your room. Technically speaking, propane is not a greenhouse gas. It burns clean. It does not have hardly any carbon dioxide emissions when it burns. I'm not an advocate for propane. I'm not trying to sound like Hank Hill from King of the Hill, but I can tell you that propane, at least in my application with this heater, has been very safe. Like I said, at some point I'm probably going to get a gas log in there. It might be propane. I don't want to have to spend thousands of dollars running pipe. I'm going to look online for maybe, 100 or 200 pound cylinder and call a company and see if they can come maybe once a month and fill up the tank. I think for my situation that would be more cost effective. Right now I have the heater in the corner. I do have air circulating with the fan. I do plan on having a mantle put in. I've only had the house about 2 months, so I'm slowly getting some projects done. But again, as far as supplemental heat, the Mr. Heater Big Buddy works great. Those tanks, I see no problem with those being where they are. I don't see them leaking, even if, God forbid, it did leak. It's inside brick. There's a vent up top, and there's a vent in the floor. This is really all I need. I mean, I could argue that I don't even need the propane gas log. This may not be the most professional looking setup, but it is effective. What I did was I drilled a hole through the bottom of the fireplace facade, and I wrapped the hose in some split loom tubing. You can see it connected in there with the regulator. That's my spare tank. There is a quick disconnect on the left of the unit. That's where the hose goes into. Again, I'm very happy with it. It works great. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.